I'm back. It's been 2 or 3 weeks since my last video. For those of y'all who are just tuning in, I'm taking a Jeep CJ5, making it a 4-door, long bed, and body swapping it on a Toyota Tundra 4-wheel drive. That's the reason why it's gonna be 4-door and long bed, because the Toyota Tundra, I have cut 10 inches of frame out, and it's still long, but it's just gonna be long. This thing is gonna be a beast when I get done with it. So stay tuned. I'm finna take you and show you what I did off camera, and then we're gonna mount the body to the frame, put the body mounts in and all that, get them welded up and setting right. That's my mission for this video. Now, for those of y'all who's been watching, you know that I have temporary welded up everything to where I was hoping it would stay, and it all worked out pretty good. So let me show you what it looks like. I have boxed in the motor mounts, got them all welded up and boxed in on both sides. I have welded in the transmission mount, put a brace from here to there. It's strong, that joker ain't going nowhere. I even put the mounts for my mufflers back in, welded them in. In my second video, I believe I took 6 inches out of the frame. I have came back and took 4 more inches out of the frame, and I have plated it on the back side, welded it all in. Now I shot a little foo-foo black on that bare metal, but my next thing I got to duck walk this front part of the cab up to the front and figure out where my mounts need to be. I got the cab sitting about where I want it, and I have come up with a pretty good idea. These are the body to frame mounts I cut off of the Toyota. This red thing is the bushings I bought, supposed to mount the body of a Jeep to the frame of a Jeep. So I'm gonna stack them just like that. And right here in this corner, I got it all sitting pretty square. But right here in this corner, I'm gonna put me a piece of square tubing, weld it from here. I don't know if you can see, across there, I'll show you. But anyhow, I'm gonna put this, once I get the square tube in there, I'm gonna drill a hole. I'm gonna bolt this whole contraption to the square tubing. Let me back up. And then once I get it bolted to it, I'm gonna weld it right down through there. And that should hold both front corners. It looked pretty good. And back here on the back, I've got the 2 I cut off right there. I might do the same thing. Just once I get it at the right height and centered, drill me a hole, bolt it to it, weld it to it. That's gonna be my plan if nothing goes awry. But so far, everything I've done, I've had to back up, rethink, redo. Now that it's upside down, I can show you what I'm talking about. I'm gonna weld me a piece of square tubing from here all the way across to here. So I'm gonna have to cut it at that angle to get it in there, weld it, then my body mount will bolt right to it. Remember when I said things could change? Well, they have changed already. Instead of running that brace like this, I ran it crossways due to the fact this is thin metal. You know, this is just floor pan. This right here has 2 pieces of thicker metal, and this piece of thicker metal right here, and here I can weld instead of welding to this tin, because I'd really and truly, if I was to do this, really and truly, it needs to go all the way down to this brace right here and weld to it. I know. We're gonna act like we don't see that right now. We're just gonna soldier on. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put me a couple of self-tappers, boom, 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 in both sides where they'll stay there and stay true. Then I'm gonna flip it back over, put it up there, get my mounts where I want them. I'm gonna have to take these, mark these, take them off, go to the drill press, drill a hole all the way through them. Then I'm gonna have to put me some kind of a spacer, round spacer between this thing so it don't crush it. A sleeve. Word I'm looking for is a sleeve. I don't have to put a sleeve in there so it don't crush it. Then bolt this to that, and then weld this to the frame once I know I'm right where I want it. So it's about 9 steps to getting this where you want it. There's my mark where I gotta drill my hole. I gotta go to the other side, do the same thing. Freaking perfect, man. Run my bolt through there. We'll stick my wire welder in there and put me a little tack on it. After a good night's sleep, I decided back here in the back, I can make this a little easier on myself and still achieve my same mission. Instead of welding one of them on and bolting to it, back here in the back, my frame isn't solid boxed in. It's open right here. And I've got these things that was on the rear end of the other bed where it mounted to the frame. And look, it fits right in there, right? So I can put that there. Now it might be dropped down a little bit. I gotta set it to the height I want it. So I'll have to notch this out and then just slide it up and down where I want it, clean that off and weld it to it. But I could put that there, put my bushing in here, run a bolt through there with a nut on the bottom and put a nut on it. No sense in making it any harder than it has to be. That's how it was. The original Jeep was held to the original frame with these brackets right here. Get that dead center of my frame. I'm just gonna put my little mark right there. Little mark right there. Then I'm gonna cut that. Then it'll fit flush up against that. Just like that right there. I can clamp it and then adjust it right where I want it with that clamp, not have to weld anything yet. And then once I get it sitting right where I want it, come back, weld it up. And then from the bottom, my floor is coming off of this at an angle just like that to meet the bottom floor. So I have access through here in the bottom. I can stick me a bolt in there, a nut, bolt it, done deal. Pretty ingenious, if I had to say so myself. All right, here's what I got. It's been like 2 hours since I last clipped on this camera, but I have moved this cab forwards, backwards, measured. I got it right where I want it. So I don't want it to move. I don't want to bump it. I don't want to do nothing. So I took a piece of angle iron, welded it to the body, and then cut a couple of tacks to the frame on both sides. That way that thing ain't going nowhere while I do what I need to do. Then I'll just cut them off. And then I put me a bolt through here, put my bushings in there, put me a nut on the bottom. I'm gonna snug it up a little bit, and then I'm gonna weld it. I'm just gonna put some tacks, just some tacks on both sides so that thing don't move. I got my back unclamped, sitting right in the middle of the frame with my bushing underneath it. I'm gonna mark right in the middle. Hope there's a dot. I can see. Oh yeah, right there. I gotta drill a hole right there. Back one, mounted down, bolted, 3 screws to hold it till I get ready to weld it. Not gonna weld it yet. I was kind of hoping I'd keep that Jeep, but I'm cutting right through the J. And the J's gonna be, matter of fact, no, that Jeep is gone. It may be a Eep, but it's not gonna be a Jeep. Bam! Now all I gotta do is cut the other side, do a little trimming on the back, and I'm ready to lower it down. Yeah. All right, I think that's gonna wrap this one up. I got it looking pretty good. I got both front body mounts in. I gotta put my body mount right there behind the rear door and then one in the back. But I got it looking pretty level. I still gotta do a little leveling, but she's looking pretty good. That ass there needs to drop by a mile. I don't know if it'll do that whenever I put the roll bar and stuff in. I'm just gonna wait till the end. They have 2-inch lowering shackles I can put on it, might help some. But it just looks high, crazy high in the ass. But thanks for watching, and come back and see me. Next time we might have the front end on it. That might be my mission, to get the front end on it. But I still got a lot of welding to do.